was a hurricane, you get an F for your responsibility. An F. You understand? If these members of the National Identity requested this meeting, I don't ever seen you as a dean come in here to have a discussion about the disaster and what transpired where VS is concerned. I didn't see it coming. Because if there was one minister should have been in here, the first minister was the minister who is in charge of social welfare of the people of this country. Madam Chair, you know, another skillful one that I saw, the minister made mention of the kiosk that was tearing down and take down, and then the issue was that they all came to the ministry to look for legal representation. Yes, they have a right. But also, Madam Chair, there's a number of people who are being terminated, who are being sent home, and even local St. Martiners who was managers at certain resorts was fired, sent home. Do they too have the opportunity to come by social welfare for legal aid, also to fight their battle against those who are sending them home? That is interesting to find out. And then the minister says, St. Martin is doing many things correctly. Wow, correctly. Yes, I agree. But yet, while we are doing things correctly, the fall of the government. Minister, is either you didn't know the fall of the government was happening, or others knew, or something is totally wrong with your presentation, your observation here today, because all I have been seeing is praises and good work. But I guess there's always a difference of opinion. Also, another question. The food roof program, the most important question for me, Minister, can you explain to Parliament who is paying for the food and roof repair program? Who is paying? Where is the money coming from? Is the money coming from the Dutch aid, or is it coming from the taxpayers of St. Martin money today? The reason I'm asking this question, because there's those who goes on a radio program and make it sound the same money that they didn't want with the aid, and the same money now that is going into the roof repair program is the same money that coming in the aid. What a skillful thing to play on the radio. Very skillful. Minister, I know you don't know because you don't listen to the radios, you know. But there's those who sit there and knows exactly what you're talking about. So I want you to be very clear to the Parliament here, where is that money coming from today to pay for the voucher program and the roof program? Because those goes on the radio program and make it sound as if that money is coming from the Dutch aid. But thank God for Knops, whatever the good gentleman name? Knops. We got to put programs together. We got to do all kinds of things in order for that aid money to come to St. Martin. And look where we got to go to say we have a negotiation for that money. That money coming no time soon with the World Bank and all of them. So let's not fool the people of St. Martin. The cat is coming out of the bag daily on this whole notion of aid, integrity chamber, border control for a new government. That's what it is. And then, Madam Chair, another one. My question is to you, to the Minister. How many members of Parliament came to you to complain that no aid was coming to their district? Please explain to Parliament if there was any members of Parliament that came and approached you and say, my district was not receiving aid and my people in my district is suffering from not getting aid. Because, Minister, again, the government was filed because no aid was given to a district. That is what certain members said here. Because no aid was given in their district. So, Minister, if you didn't deliver aid a day, but yet the government fell, then you ask yourself what games you're playing with the people because no aid didn't reach in the district of Sucker Garden for their people and the government fell. Minister, if you understand where I'm coming with this, it's a political spin that those who try to sell to the public that aid didn't reach their people is the reason why this government fell. And if no aid didn't reach them, who's to blame? The minister who's responsible for aid. But I guess, Minister, one way to throw you under the bus, and the next minute to pick you up and bring you back in the next government to sell it to the public. Very skillful. Madam Chair, to the Minister, what does phase 1 entail other than the 1,800 applications having been processed according to the criteria and accordance with the policy framework and guidelines? What is the content of the framework and what are the guidelines? Who approved these criteria and what was it based on? How many people have received aid as of today and what does that aid consist of, monetary value and in kind? As of when the people being receiving this aid that is referred to in this press release? Madam Chair, I have the press release here that I was going to highlight, but I'll answer to my questions. Does the voucher system work legal? Work like the gasoline or diesel bonds worked? Can ministers also use these vouchers to collect items for the volunteers, as you indicated as being the case with the gas bonds? It would be interesting, by the way, to understand exactly what the scandal is about. Yes, Minister. I got a note here from someone who wanted me to ask about this whole issue concerning this gas bond, what I saw on Facebook and what was so nicely talked about. Clear as can be. How did this issue go about? And can we as Parliament be provided with a breakdown on the Ministry of Viesa, how these bonds was issued for gasoline and to whom it was given to?
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
I am almost shocked by the statement. if you're in danger of not being able to eat, you can come to the department and you'll be given a voucher. Now, does that mean that no criteria will be applied? Does it mean that one can just come and say, look, I'm hungry, I have no food at home, so therefore I'm in need of a voucher? What does that mean? Be plain, be explicit with those words, because it is what has been said today, less than an hour ago. Why the delay? Why the delay? Well, say, why only now? Almost, we've gone in 3 months now, but not even a month or two. The minister decide to approach community outreach centers in order to get their assistance to ensure that goods are delivered. Why only now? I know why, Madam Chair. I know why. One must always realize that when it comes to governing, the one that has the most seats, which is National Alliance, whatever happens, it is blamed on the National Alliance-led government. Keep that first and foremost in mind. So that explains the delay. I've been receiving calls, and I'm sure colleagues of mine also, from persons who stood in long lines, in the hot sun, tempers flared, fights broke out, law enforcement was called in order to settle the matter down. People took their time to have the forms filled in, and then are told, we will call you. We will call you. Someone called me a couple of days ago. They said they were told 3 or 4 weeks ago when they filled in the form, when they stood in line to get the information, to give the information, that they will receive a call. But they have not yet received a call. When it comes to food, I don't know about you, but I might not look so, but I love to eat as often as possible. But when you can tell someone who has come to apply for food that you will call them, then I have a problem with that. And why do I say this? The criteria. Someone came to me with the form, and when I looked at it, I said, what kind of form is it? I saw social aid, medical, I think, and also financial assistance, and a lot of things to fill in. I think bank statements were also on there, so I do not know if I understood the minister wrong, but I heard bank statements are also mentioned on there. Your income, your job, and so on. Now, if I have a job and have an income, why would I go looking for a voucher for food? I think I'll be able to buy my own food myself. So why would I stand in long lines in the hot sun and almost get beaten by those who are fighting to apply for food? En nota quadra. En nota quadra. Really don't make sense. There was a pensioner who said, they came to a home and they said because the child is a minor, they will get aid. So the mother of the pensioner, the daughter of the pensioner asked, well, what about my mother? She's a pensioner. They said, no, she does not qualify. I don't know. Maybe it's 150 per home, I don't know. So it is important today that the criteria is explained in layman's terms as to what are the procedures in order for one to get food. And Madam Chair, this is not grandstanding. This is trying to get the details of what is needed. That is why we ask for more time, because 20 minutes is not sufficient. And it'll be interesting for us to be told by the chair what rules were used in order to have the meeting continue. how many persons are staying in the shelter? How many persons are presently staying in shelters? What are the reasons? Is it
MP George Pantaflet, if I could just ask you to clarify, you are contesting the continuation of the meeting? You said you're asking the chair how the meeting continued?
I just asked what rules were used, Madam Chair.
For the meeting to continue?
Yes, Madam Chair. The minutes. It's out in the minutes? The time allotted, Madam Chair. The time I said, what rule was used?
No, you said for the meeting to continue.
What were used in order to tell us that we could not extend the minutes of the meeting? Because we had a 6-6 tie.
Yes.
And he said it continued.
And the chair lady responsible for the meeting decided that the meeting will continue on the basis of what was prescribed as at first, 20 minutes in the first round.
And the 10 minutes were not given because of the 6-6 tie.
That's correct. And the chair lady made the decision based on the tie, 6-6, that we will stick to what was originally put for this meeting, 20 minutes in the first round, 10 in the second. You may continue, MP.
But not regulated by, of course, by rules, by the
You may continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question was, how many persons are in shelters? What are they there for? And will they qualify automatically for roof, for nails, for food, for medical assistance? What will they qualify for? Are they unemployed? Will they get social welfare assistance? What are your plans moving forward to manage the medium and long term? Because, again, this meeting is for the people of St. Martin to know exactly what they're entitled to, because I understood that by end of December it is all over. I heard the Red Cross said it might continue in January. I don't know. We need clarity as to how this matter will be taken care of.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
It is the time now to move forward. That does not take away our responsibility to learn from the way that things have been done and where necessary, make corrections going forward. So, as I mentioned, the government has reacted to that particular motion and on all of the issues of the motion and positively on most of them. Going forward, we also believe it's extremely important that we have a formal dialogue structure with the business sector on St. Martin. What we need to guard against going forward is that we have a fragmented approach to the different issues that we need to address, especially where the matter of aid and assistance are concerned. Because, as I mentioned, looking at now the recovery process, which is another process following the emergency process, we need to have a joint vision on the way going forward. And looking at how best to approach this, looking at how best to get a buy-in into this vision going forward, I have asked of the government that the ministers, all of them, if possible, come to Parliament sometime next week. I have proposed that it happens on Thursday, where you could have a discussion between the Parliament and the government on the matters of 1, this issue of the Integrity Chamber, 2, the amended budget 2017, and 3, the priority projects for the interim period. It's not necessary to rehash the whole history on the Integrity Chamber, but the fact remains that 1, we have understood as Parliament that the government has given its approval to the Integrity Chamber. It has gone through the rounds of Council of Advice, etc. However, for that Integrity Chamber to become law and become one of the conditions met by the Dutch government or by us for the Dutch government, it needs to come to Parliament as soon as possible. As I mentioned, then we will see who are those in favor of the conditions, who are those in favor of having the funds released or not. And so we have asked the government to come so that we can have a discussion on the matter and hopefully on the approval of an integrity chamber established by the Parliament of St. Martin. The budget 2017, the amended budget 2017, I have stated on several occasions that currently the government, whatever they are doing, is actually working from a deficit budget. A deficit budget 2017 because again, the government has not been and will not be receiving the monies that were projected when the budget 2017 was established. And that is understandable. Following Hurricane Irma, the government will not be collecting the money it had anticipated in the beginning of the year. So that's a deficit budget. We have been told that part of the Dutch aid will include budget support. So in other words, it is the Dutch aid that is actually going to address the matter of the deficit. We are going to be receiving funds so that the deficit in our budget 2017 either is smaller or hopefully will not exist at all, so that we can have a budget from which the things that need to be done can be done. So those two matters, government and Parliament, must work together to get them established. We will not have an integrity chamber. Government could have approved it 10 times, but we will not have it unless it is passed in a law by Parliament. We have understood, we have not seen it yet, that the border control agreement has been signed off by the St. Martin Minister of Justice, the Honorable Minister Boseman. We have not seen that agreement yet. We have understood it is now in The Hague to be signed off, but the fact remains that the argument which we're hearing now for the reason of this document being signed by our minister, the argument that is being used is that now border control will be under the St. Martin Minister of Justice. I can inform you that from the very first draft document that I saw for border control, it was always with the understanding that the border control will be under the responsibility of the St. Martin Minister of Justice. To make it seem as if that was not the case in the beginning is misleading, to say the least. That has always been stated in the proposed agreement for border control, that the expanded role for the Royal Maréchaussées as far as border control is concerned will be under the responsibility of the St. Martin Minister of Justice. And then thirdly, another item that the Parliament and the government must decide on jointly and have a vision on going forward are the priority projects that will come online between now and when the big sum of money is going to be made available to St. Martin. Clearly, the 550 euros that are being spoken about, million euros that are being spoken about, those that structure will not be in place right now. We have heard about the involvement of an international organization like the World Bank to also be part of this structure, and that is not going to be something of tomorrow. However, the two other matters are critical. One, budget control for the government of St. Martin, budget support for the government of St. Martin. And secondly, you have the matter of priorities that can get going now, projects that can get going now, as once we have finalized our agreements or the conditions, if you wish, that have been agreed to between the St. Martin and the Dutch government.